Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inner Spark. Today, we bring you a story titled The Hidden Power of Silence Everyone Overlooks. This is not just a story, but a journey into how silence can transform lives, teach lessons, and open doors we never thought possible. Sometimes the loudest strength lies not in words, but in silence. This story will show how patience, restraint, and quiet confidence can change everything. By the end, you'll see why silence is not weakness, but hidden power. And before we dive in, if you find meaning in this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need this reminder today. Lily Carter had always been the life of the room. Born in Oxford, but now living in Manchester, she was the one people relied on for conversation, jokes, or clever remarks. At her marketing job, she had a reputation for filling awkward silences with charm. But as she approached her 30s, Lily felt an emptiness no amount of talking could cover. After long days of meetings, phone calls, and endless chatter, she would collapse at home, feeling drained and strangely invisible, as if all her words were smoke disappearing into the air. One rainy evening, walking home past the River Irwell, Lily stopped. She leaned on the railing and let the drizzle soak her coat. For the first time in years, she didn't reach for her phone, didn't think of words. She just listened to the rain, the hum of the city, her own heartbeat. And in that stillness, she felt a strange calm she hadn't known in years. Something whispered inside her. Silence isn't empty. It's full. The next morning, Sunny Harris, her closest work friend, noticed her change immediately. Sunny was impulsive, playful, and talkative, someone who hated quiet. "Oi, Lil," he joked, "you've gone all serious. What's up? Cat got you tongue." She laughed softly but stayed quieter than usual. She listened during meetings, nodding instead of jumping in. At first, colleagues thought she was ill. But when Richard Collins, her boss, asked for input, Lily spoke slowly, carefully. Her few words revealed flaws in the plan no one had seen. The room went silent, then nodded. For once, her words carried weight. That evening, she met Jack Turner at a cafe in London. Jack was different from Sunny, steady, thoughtful, an old friend who always observed more than he said. He noticed her shift immediately. "You're not the Lily I remember," he said with a small smile. She admitted she was experimenting with silence. Jack leaned forward and said quietly, "Funny thing about silence. It often reveals more truth than words ever could." His respect for her silence planted something deep in her heart. But her new way of living was soon tested. Sunny dragged her to a noisy Liverpool pub on Friday night. The place shook with laughter, music, and arguments. Normally, Lily would jump into the chaos, matching banter for banter. This time, she stayed quiet, sipping her drink, studying people. When a heated argument broke out between two strangers, Sunny tried pulling her in to settle it with words. But Lily stayed silent. Later, one of the men came to her and said, "You didn't say a thing, but somehow you calmed the room. That's rare." She realized silence wasn't weakness, it was influence. At work, two departments soon collided in conflict. Voices rose, accusations flew, and the atmosphere turned toxic. Richard looked defeated. Lily stayed quiet, letting the storm burn itself out. Then, with a calm tone, she offered a simple solution. The noise collapsed into agreement. Afterward, Richard told her, "You've changed, Lily. You don't just speak, you lead." That night, she sat awake, realizing her silence had begun to reshape not just her relationships, but her identity. Her family noticed too. Back in Oxford, her father, a proud, distant man, sat with her one evening. Instead of trying to fill the gaps, she listened. For the first time, he opened up about fears of retirement and money. She realized silence wasn't absence. It was space for truth. A relationship once strained began to heal. Yet not everyone welcomed the change. Sunny grew frustrated. "You're shutting people out, Lily," he said one afternoon. "This isn't you. You used to light up every room." Lily doubted herself. Was silence making her cold? But Jack reminded her, silence isn't distance. It's depth. Those who value you will stay. Those who don't will fade. She realized silence was also a test of who truly cared. Then came the twist that changed everything. A financial scandal rocked her company. Panic swept through the office, voices shouting in every meeting. Lily stayed quiet, listening, taking notes. After days of chaos, she discovered a hidden paper trail that proved most accusations false. When she presented it, her calm voice carried more power than the shouting had all week. Her silence had saved the company. Overnight, she was promoted, seen not as the chatterbox Lily, but as the leader Lily. But silence carried another challenge. Jack confessed his feelings one evening. Lily froze, unable to respond. Her silence, once a gift, cut like a knife. Jack, misreading her pause, assumed she didn't feel the same. He withdrew, leaving her heart heavy. Days later, she realized her mistake. Silence had power, yes, but sometimes words were necessary. She ran to him, breathless, saying, "I do care, Jack. I was just afraid." He smiled, relief softening his eyes. That twist taught her silence and words must work together, not against each other. As her life transformed, Lily received an invitation to speak at a London leadership conference. The irony wasn't lost on her. She had built her new strength through silence, and now she was being asked to speak. Standing on stage, she didn't rush. She let silence hang between her sentences, letting each word land. The audience leaned in, captivated. Afterward, people told her the pauses had been as powerful as her words. But the biggest test of silence was still ahead. Months later, her friendship with Sonny fractured. He accused her of becoming arrogant, distant, too good for old mates. Hurt, Lily nearly lashed out. Instead, she stayed calm. "Sonny," she finally said, "silence doesn't mean I've changed against you. It means I've changed for me." Tears filled his eyes. For the first time, Sonny stopped speaking too and understood. Their friendship, though different now, grew stronger because of honesty. As years passed, Lily found balance. With Jack, she built a relationship where silence was comfort, not distance. At work, she became known as the leader who didn't speak to be heard but spoke to be understood. At home, she gave her parents the space they had always needed. She realized silence wasn't just about restraint. It was about respect, timing, and strength. Looking back, Lily laughed at the girl she used to be, the chatterbox afraid of empty spaces. Now she understood silence wasn't emptiness. It was wisdom in disguise. It gave her clarity in chaos, calm in storms, and strength in weakness. She discovered that in a noisy world, silence was the rarest voice of all. On her final talk at another conference, she ended with words that summed up her journey. Silence is not the absence of life. It is the breath of it. In silence, we see clearly, we feel deeply, and when we finally speak, our words carry the weight of truth. The applause thundered, but Lily didn't bask in it. She simply smiled, letting silence fill the room. For she knew, more than anyone, that silence was her greatest ally, the hidden power everyone else had overlooked. Silence can win arguments without fighting, heal wounds without words, and lead without shouting. But silence must be balanced with honesty, or it can hurt as much as it heals. In a world that never stops speaking, the quietest voices often carry the deepest truth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if this story from Inner Spark inspired you.